The 74th consecutive sellout at Reliant Stadium here in Houston for two AFC South rivals, the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hello, everyone. Bill McAtee along with Steve Berline. And Steve, it's only week number 3, but you get a sense there's a lot on the line for both of these teams. Jacksonville does not want to start 0-3, and Houston wants to build on the momentum from last week. But are they the team that struggled in week 1 against the New York Jets, or the team that looked so good, so explosive last week in coming back on the road against Tennessee?
Well, Bill, that's a question that a lot of Texans fans are asking right now. Is it the team that got decimated and destroyed by the New York Jets? Only 180 yards total offense, 0 touchdowns offensively. Arguably, this Texans team is one of, if not the most talented offensive team in all the NFL.
Gary Kubiak wants his team to be more explosive. So was last week how they mixed it up with Tennessee something of a statement game?
Well, I'll tell you what I think, and I think that this is a team, the Houston Texans, that have always been perceived as kind of a finesse team, not really willing to step up and go boxing with the big boys. Well, last week they went down to Tennessee and they mixed it up.
Meanwhile, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, there is a sense of urgency. They need a victory today, and it all begins on offense with number 32, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Exactly right, and Gary Kubiak told us that everything this Jacksonville Jaguars team stands for is exactly what we've struggled with.
Since the roof is closed today because the temperature outside is above 80, it's the 50-80 rule they have here in Houston, so perfect weather inside, and the forecast is for loud conditions. And that is always the case here. Jacksonville won the toss. They deferred, so Houston will get the ball to start. Josh Scobie in his 6th year kicking for Jacksonville, ready to kick it off, and Jacoby Jones is back deep for the Texans. It's Battle Red Day in Houston. Texans wearing their Battle Red, all red pants and jerseys. It's been good luck for them. They're 7-2 overall in Battle Red and 4-1 in all red against the Jaguars. And we're set to go week 3 in Houston. Jones from the 2. And brings it out to the 21-yard line.
Last week was the first time in a long time that Matt Schaub has actually felt healthy. And I think when he's healthy with these weapons, now having Kevin Walter out there on the field today, as we stated, this guy is in a perfect position to really excel today. I think he's one of the best in the league when he's got all of his weapons going.
Leighton alone in the backfield. They'll throw on first down, short drop, and that was intended for Owen Daniels, the tight end. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Out to Anderson. He's able to go down and get it. So 3rd and 6, opening possession for the Houston Texans. Shot, has time, that's caught. Johnson, Andre Johnson, out to the 48-yard line.
Well, the first 2 throws by Matt Schaub, it didn't look like he really had his feet under him very well. Looked a little jittery, a little antsy. They were not very accurate throws, but right here, great protection, big-time throw. You can see that anticipation right into the hole to the big hands, the big target of Andre Johnson, who, by the way, had over 115 catches last year. Matt Schaub will be looking his way whenever he gets the opportunity. Good, solid 3rd down conversion.
That was good for 22 yards. Considine made the stop. 1st and 10, they spotted at the 47. Slayton. And no running room inside. Picks up maybe 1.
Well, we saw 3 straight pass plays to open the game, Bill, and right there the first run. And this is exactly what the Texans have seen too much of this year. The little man, Steve Slayton, running into a pile and not coming out of it with anything. Got a yard on that play, but Gary Kubiak told us, even still, last week they stuck with the running game. They ran it 29 times. They've got to do that today, although he would love to see some good things happen for Slayton.
Kubiak now in his 4th year leading the Texans. Again, Slayton, right side, ducks under to midfield. Jack Del Rio, 7th year at Jacksonville. He seemed surprisingly at ease when we talked to him yesterday. He said, look, we've got some young guys who we think can play. We have a lot of confidence in what we're doing, and we like our chances against the Texans. There was a sense of urgency, but not a sense of desperation to get a win today.
I think all of them, all the players and coaches seemed very confident that they were going to get this thing figured out.
3rd and 7. Schaub with time across the middle, another first down. Daniels. Owen Daniels, 11-yard pickup, and down to the 39-yard line.
Well, therein lies the problem defending the Houston Texans. So many weapons out there. Good job, Matt Schaub, stepping up and reloading there. You can see Matt Schaub, he likes it. He says, ooh, we got that one. But Owen Daniels is a matchup nightmare for safeties and linebackers. You're going to see a lot of him out there today.
2 third down conversions already to keep this opening drive alive. 1st and 10. Back to the run. Slayton, a little more room this time. Powers down close to the 36-yard line. Well, here's one of the key matchups today. Andre Johnson and Rashean Mathis.
Well, we talked about in the open the problems between Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson. Well, Rashean Mathis and Andre Johnson have a mutual respect for each other. These are two guys that have gone against each other many, many times, but they both do their talking by how they play on the field. You're going to see these two matched up all day long. Rashean Mathis will be blanketing Andre Johnson.
He limited Larry Fitzgerald last week to 4 catches. Shot. Lets it go. Johnson tries to go up and get it. And it's an interception.
Yeah.
Mathis was right there with him, and he came down with the ball. After the interception, Jacksonville will start their first possession at their own 8-yard line. As always, the crowd is loud here in Houston. Offset eye. Jones drew up the middle. Powers his way across the 10 to the 12-yard line. There's David Garrard in his 3rd season as Jacksonville's starter quarterback, 23 of 43, 282 and 2 touchdowns last week, but he was sacked 4 times, fumbled 3 times, lost 1, and threw an interception.
And a lot of those numbers, Bill, came well after that game was out of control for the Arizona Cardinals.
And 2nd down, tipped, incomplete. Well, Jacksonville went out and drafted for the future on the offensive line.
And this is the first time coming into this year that he has been the featured back for Jacksonville. No more Fred Taylor. They're expecting bigger things out of Maurice Jones-Drew.
3rd and 6. First possession for Jacksonville. Garrard gets rid of it, and that is caught by Mike Sims-Walker. He averaged almost 18 yards a catch with 6 receptions and a touchdown last week against Arizona.
Well, surprisingly, very soft coverage on Mike Sims-Walker out there. Good under control throw from David Garrard to the outside. And Mike Sims-Walker is a guy that's going to sneak up on a lot of people this year, I think. He's getting a chance to play now with the injury to Troy Williamson last week, out for the year. Number 11 is going to get a lot of throws from David Garrard.
That was good for 17. 1st and 10 from the 29. They fake the reverse. Garrard, he's got some wheels, and out of bounds, close to the 40-yard line, into Texan territory.
Wow, that's a very well-designed play. The first play of the game, we saw the handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew, and then the fake reverse. Well, here, David Garrard fakes it to both of them. You see all the Texans start pursuing back the other way. You give David Garrard, who's a tremendous runner with the football, in fact, the best running quarterback in the NFL the last several years, he's going to take it and do some damage. Very well-designed play and a big pickup for Jacksonville.
So after the 17-yard gain, that was good for 30, and 1st and 10 from the Texan 41-yard line. Garrard gets rid of it. Jones-Drew with the catch.
Good job on that last play by Garrard, standing in there, taking a hit and delivering a strike for a 5-yard pickup.
Toss right. Jones-Drew. Inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. He had over 2,500 yards rushing in his first 3 seasons in the league, despite only starting 4 games.
Well, I think, Bill, one of the things we need to look at, too, as we know Jacksonville's going to commit to Maurice Jones-Drew, this Houston defense, I think, gets a bad rap. Aside from 3 plays that went for 217 yards last week, this defense has been playing pretty sound, pretty aggressive, and very good against the run. We'll see if they can limit the big plays.
On 3rd down, that's a nice defensive play. Tim Bowman.
Well, you're going to see Bowman. He's going to be coming. He reads the screen, sniffs it out, and the big man decides to just give it up for the team. Got a fingertip, got that big paw up there, knocked the ball down. If he doesn't make that play, I think we got Maurice Jones with the ball outside in space, and that is where he causes nightmares for opposing defenses.
So Josh Scobie is on to try a 52-yard field goal. His career long is 53. Had a 46-yard attempt blocked and returned for a touchdown last week, but this one has the distance and is good. Plenty of leg for Josh Scobie. We're back in Houston, the 15th meeting between Jacksonville and the Texans. It's been a tight series. Houston holds an 8-6 advantage. Jacoby Jones back deep for Houston. And Scobie, after the 52-yard field goal, nails this one from a yard deep in the end zone. Hits a wall at the 21-yard line.
I want you to see, Bill, last time the Texans had the ball, Andre Johnson's going to go run a comeback out here on the outside. What he should have done by the coverage of Rashean Mathis, the way that Rashean Mathis played, I think Rashean Mathis busted the coverage. He sits down, lets Andre Johnson get behind him. It caused confusion for Matt Schaub, and therefore the ball was underthrown. Let Rashean Mathis get back in there and make the play.
Slayton fights his way to the 24-yard line. Both teams with good opening drives, but Houston ended with that turnover. Jacksonville converted a 52-yard field goal.
And we talked about the matchup early. Rashean Mathis against Andre Johnson. He will follow him all over the field. I think he got away with one there. Maybe he knew something. Maybe he knew and had a tendency figured out and played it perfectly. I don't know. But in my opinion, as a former quarterback, that could have been a big play for a touchdown.
2nd and 7. Slayton right side. Nice hole for Steve Slayton. And that's what Gary Kubiak told us he wanted. He said, I don't mind 1- and 2-yard gains as long as every now and then we can bust one for 15 or 20.
And he said Steve Slayton needs something good to happen. This is exactly what he had in mind. There's the hole. You can see a great job done by that whole right side of the offensive line. Mike Brazel, Eric Winston, center Chris Myers. Those guys did a good job of getting him up into the line of scrimmage. That's the first time this year he's seen green grass.
He came in with just 51 yards on 26 carries and 3 fumbles in the play action. Johnson goes up and gets it, another first down in Jacksonville territory, the 45-yard line.
And right away we see the effect of the play action off of that big run by Steve Slayton. You're going to see the linebackers, they step up and they're going to react to the fake, and then Andre Johnson's got the big hole to sit down and over the top. Very easy. Reggie Nelson worried about the big man running right past him. Andre Johnson's got an easy catch.
Sean Considine, who was away from the play, slow getting up, came over to Jacksonville after 4 seasons with Philadelphia, 17 starts with the Eagles, starting strong safety, and he's walking off the field back with more from Houston after this. After the 17-yard completion, the Texans will go from the Jacksonville 45-yard line. Left side's play action and incomplete. Tried to go back to the opposite side of the field and find Andre Johnson, but underthrown. There's Kyle Shanahan. You remember him when he was looked even younger than that.
Yeah, he obviously the son of Mike Shanahan, a former Broncos coach. Kyle Shanahan, when I was with the Raiders in the late 80s, Mike Shanahan was the head coach. And Kyle was, I think he was just out of diapers when I first met him. He's grown up and really made a name for himself climbing up the coaching ranks. He's sharing the play calling duty, really calling the plays for the Houston Texans. Every once in a while, Gary Kubiak will take over, but it is Kyle Shanahan's show and he's doing a great job.
Second down, swings it out to Vontae Leach, the fullback, and he's stopped for no gain by Clint Ingram. Vontae Leach, who was an alternate for the Pro Bowl last year.
Well, two good defensive plays by Jack Del Rio's defense. Both times, none of the play action is even remotely fooling the defense for the Jaguars. They're right there to make the tackle and make the play.
Kevin Walters, the motion man, playing in his first game of the season. Missed the first 2 weeks with a hamstring injury, and he has been a valuable contributor on third down. And he's open, and Schaub didn't see him, instead went to Dave Anderson. Walter was open, flashing across the middle.
No doubt about it, Bill. Kevin Walter was wide open down the middle of the field. I'm not exactly sure. Right here is Kevin Walter. He's going to just shoot right down the middle of the field. He got the perfect coverage. Matt Schaub should have. They come with a full-out blitz up the middle. You see how wide open he is right there. That is not going to happen too often in the NFL. That's an easy throw and catch. Matt Schaub is going to be kicking himself when he sees that tomorrow.
Mike Thomas, the rookie, back deep. And it's actually fielded by a man away from the ball. We're back, and Ron Winter, our referee, has an announcement about the last play.
On the previous play, a fair catch signal was given by number 80 of the receiving team. Therefore, the ball cannot be advanced. The ball is placed at the spot where the receiving team player picked the ball up. First down.
So they spot it at the 11-yard line. Jacksonville able to move the football on their first possession. Jones-Drew, great penetration from the Texans, stopped for a loss, led by Brian Cushing. All right, JB, thank you. Michael Vick playing in his first regular season game in 33 months. After the loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for Jacksonville. Garrard. Incomplete. Torrey Holt was the intended receiver. Dante Robinson. Nice job breaking up the play.
Now this Texans defense is fired up. You know, they talked to us on Friday, Bill, talking about the only thing they think they're doing wrong is they're not communicating well enough. Well, they're on the same page today.
They really stepped it up in the second half last week against Tennessee. No running room for Maurice Jones-Drew, swarming the Texans defense. Mario Williams made the tackle.
Now here's Mario right here. Watch him just pursue. This guy is a freak as far as his athletic ability. He can run down people much smaller, much quicker than you think he would be. An incredible athlete who's just going to keep getting better.
Adam Podlish standing 3 yards deep in his own end zone. The Texans should have good field position after this punt. Jacoby Jones, always dangerous, back deep. Calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 45-yard line. Casey Studdard started today at left guard, and he played well in the preseason when Pitts was hurt. His dad, Dave, played with Gary Kubiak in Denver, and Gary said he used to see Casey running around in diapers.
And he said this is a guy that's earned his opportunity. He's got no doubt he's going to step in and play well.
From the 44-yard line of Jacksonville, play action. Schaub gets out of pressure, rolling to his right, finds Walter. Kevin Walter out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Reggie Nelson made the stop after a pickup of 24.
Well, super job here by Matt Schaub, stepping up in the pocket. You're going to see Kevin Walter doesn't ever quit on this route. He sees his quarterback in trouble, says, hey, I'm going to open space. I'm going to green grass. Give me a chance. Matt Schaub, not known as a really mobile guy, but just mobile enough right there to buy that time and then deliver the strike to Kevin Walter.
And he says he feels good physically. His ankle is close to 100%. Slayton. Tough running inside, down to the 18-yard line.
Bill, those don't look like much, those little 2-yard runs, but what I like about the way Steve Slayton's running today, he's pounding it up in there. When you look at the film from last week in week 1 against the Jets, he looked to me a little bit tentative, like he wasn't the same confident slashing running back he was last year when he ran for over 1,200 yards. You know, his normal average is 4.8 yards a carry coming into this season. This year is only 2.3. Good to see him being decisive and getting into the hole.
He led the entire AFC in total yards from scrimmage. Touchdown, Jacoby Jones! So many weapons, and they were all on display in that drive. There's the strike, 18 yards, Schaub to Jones.
And it came up just the way you design it. That route's called a shake route by the outside receiver. A little double move. Had Andre Johnson running down the middle of the field to hold the safety, and Jacoby Jones scores his second career touchdown. The first was last week.
And there's Jacoby's mom, Emily. She has the same seat for every home game. Got to celebrate with her son, who really has broken through. I mean, he's always been a great special teams player, but he was very productive. Came back from an early drop last week. Had a couple of key receptions in the victory and an 18-yard touchdown catch there.
And he knew exactly where mom was, didn't he? Look at this. Ah. How about that?
Nothing like a hug from mom. Squibs it. Now to the 30-yard line. And that is Tyquan Underwood, the rookie out of Rutgers. So let's see if Jacksonville can respond after the quick touchdown by the Texans. They start from their own 31-yard line. Maurice Jones-Drew in the offset eye. Gerard, short drop. Sims Walker. And he's brought down hard at the 39-yard line by John Biesing after a pickup of 8. Well, the Jaguars have been waiting for number 11 to emerge. They think he has a chance to be something special, coming off a 100-yard effort last week against Arizona. He was a third-round pick out of Central Florida in 2007. Missed his rookie season because of a left knee injury. Was having his best game as a pro against the Steelers last October. Was injured again. And Torrey Holt told us that if he stays healthy, he can be the guy here. They run it up the middle, again faking the reverse. And to the 42-yard line goes Maurice Jones-Drew.
And there you see Mike Sims Walker again. He's a guy that's looking to obviously capitalize on his opportunity with the unfortunate injury to Troy Williamson. Big physical guy. You look at him on film and you see the way he goes after the football. I think David Garrard is going to get more and more confidence, and it's going to make Torrey Holt that much more effective too, having somebody else on the other side of the field to take some pressure off of him.
He added the name Sims in honor of his father, Michael Sims, who died last December. Garrard finds Holt. He makes the catch into Houston territory, down to the 44-yard line. Dante Robinson made the stop, a pickup of 14.
Well, David Garrard knows, and Torrey Holt will be the first one to tell you, the best thing for your featured receiver, your number 1 receiver, is to have a number 2 and a number 3 out there to take some of the looks and some of the pressure off on him. The defense now has to respect that other receiver, and it gives him a chance to have a little bit of opportunity as far as the coverages are concerned.
So we've reached the end of the first quarter. With that last reception, Torrey Holt moves into 12th place, passing Irving Fryer. Irving Fryer for most receiving yards in the National Football League. 7-time Pro Bowl receiver, nearly 13,000 yards in his career. 46 career 100-yard receiving games. 1st and 10. Sims Walker, the motion man. Garrard steps up, slings it, caught. Mercedes Lewis, the tight end.
That's a big man right there. Mercedes Lewis, 6'6", 275, but he's starting to emerge as a serious threat in this Jacksonville offense. He's a big target for David Garrard. He can get up the field well, and he's really starting to go after the football, make a lot of big plays for this offense.
Six catches for 85 yards and a touchdown in 2 games coming in. In his 4th year out of UCLA, first-round pick in 2006. 1st and 10 for the 26-yard line. Texans showing blitz. Here they come. Garrard, as they pick it up nicely, floats it to the end zone. Sims Walker, the intended receiver, incomplete.
You know, you mentioned, Bill, that Torrey Holt's a guy that just moved into 12th place, passing up Irving Fryer, and we talk. What a refreshing guy to talk to. I mean, he's a guy that really understands his place and the significance of things, and how honored he was when we spoke to him last night about moving up into that level, passing up Irving Fryer, and having Steve Largent sitting in front of him as the next target for him.
Into very elite company. Jones Drew. Tough running inside.
And you know that the crazy thing about Holden is he's done a lot of this with one of the ugliest fingers that I've ever seen.
Take a look at that.
Look at that. I mean, that finger's supposed to be going this way, not that way. I mean, he's got to have these gloves custom made in order to fit that finger in there. And you look at it, it's almost like one of those things you don't want to look at, but you can't take your eyes off of it because it's so noticeable.
Those hands have done a lot of good work as a receiver in the National Football League. They stop play for a moment.
There it is. Yeah,
Does that mean he can lie whenever he wants to? From the 23-yard line, 3rd and 7. Garrard hit as he let it go. A nice catch. Mike Thomas, the rookie, playing in his very first NFL game. He left Arizona as the Pac-10's all-time leading receiver.
Well, David Garrard told us last night that we're going to see a lot of these guys. He said, okay, well, Mike Thomas is the guy that's going to be making some plays for us tomorrow. Mercedes Lewis. You're going to see a little bit of Mike Sims Walker. David Garrard standing strong in that pocket, taking hits. But a lot of these names, even Jacksonville fans might not be familiar with, but they're going to be getting some chances to make plays.
That was good for 10 yards and a first down. So from the 13, they keep it on the ground. A loss on the play as Brian Cushing, the rookie, led the charge. He has led the Texans in tackles the last 2 weeks, and Gary Kubiak told us that Cushing has brought an intensity to not just the defense, but the entire team in the way he plays and flies around, both during games and in practice.
Yeah, he said he may not know exactly what he's doing on every play because he still is a rookie. He was hurt during the preseason, but man, he is getting better each and every week, and he is a force and a lightning rod for this defense out there.
Big and fast and rocked up. He can bring it. 2nd and 12 after the loss. And that's caught. Wolford keeps his balance. Touchdown. They had to check to see whether or not he had stepped out of bounds.
Oh, what a great job by David Garrard. He saw the coverage. He knew it was man-to-man across the board. It was actually supposed to be hitting Ernest Williford up the sideline, but watch the way David Garrard puts this ball right on Ernest Williford, who, by the way, is now a tight end. When he was back with Jacksonville several years ago, he was a wide receiver. Now he's a tight end. They feel like they're going to give him some great matchups.
They're going to throw the challenge flag because it looked like you could see on the replay that he stepped out of bounds at the 2.
Yeah, I think Gary Kubiak saw the same thing we did. Looked like that left foot went out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
But Ernest Williford is a great story.
But the runner did not step out of bounds.
We're back in Houston, still awaiting the outcome of the challenge.
It's really interesting why it's taking so long. We got plenty of looks that show that foot was clear out of bounds. You see right there, that left foot is definitely on the line, just inside the 2-yard line. Great effort by Ernest Williford, but it's going to come back to the 2-yard line. A good challenge by Gary Kubiak. And you can see this next left foot right there. That foot is clearly on the line. And while we got a second, you know, you talk about this guy Wilford, he was a wide receiver. David Garrard told us, you see David right there, he told us that this is one of the things that limited Wilford as a receiver was he didn't have the great speed. Well, you make him into a tight end, he's 6'4", 235. He's got great speed for a tight end.
Sixth year out of Virginia Tech.
The more confident he gets, the more problems he's going to cause defenses. I guarantee you that.
And they got a rookie they like, Zach Miller. Here's the call.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Therefore, it'll be first down and goal just inside the 2-yard line. Houston is not charged with a team timeout. The clock will start on the ready for play.
So good challenge. But first and goal from the 2. And this is how Jacksonville has responded to the quick strike by the Texans, but it's going to get loud in here now. Battle Red Day. A sea of red everywhere here at Reliant Stadium. Woo! Woo! Hey, hey! Hey, 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 hey! From just inside the 2. Play action. Garrard will keep it. Touchdown. Steps into the end zone.
We talked, Bill, in the open about how important it's going to be for David Garrard to make plays with his feet. Right there, great example. You get him out on the edge, and well, he's a big man out there. He's about 240 pounds, but he can move. And you get out there, a lot of quarterbacks, they'll try and buy time and find someone to throw the ball. Garrard says, no, thank you. I'll take it in myself.
So touchdown for David Garrard. Jacksonville regains the lead, and Josh Scobie's on to try the extra point. It's good. So 11:18 left to go in the half. Well, nice response from Jacksonville. 11:18 left to go in the half. As Scobie prepares to kick off to Jacoby Jones, back deep, standing at the goal line. 69 yards, 10 plays in the drive. Culminated with the 2-yard touchdown run by Garrard. 4 yards deep in the end zone. Jones brings it out. Reverses his field. Has some running room. Jacoby Jones, he's exciting to watch. Pulled down from behind at the 26-yard line by Brian Russell. Both teams have already had 6 plays of 10 yards or more. Chris Brown has checked in now for the Texans. Play action. Schaub. Hit as he throws, floats it down to Walter, who makes the grab and goes to the 45-yard line. And our first penalty flag of the game.
I think it's going to be a personal foul.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 52 contacted the head of the quarterback. 15 yards and a first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Schaub did a great job getting back up after this one. You're going to see some good pressure. Casey Studdard got worked on the line of scrimmage there, and boy, Matt Schaub gets hit by 2 or 3 guys right there at the same time. Somehow this ball finds its way to Kevin Walter. It was laid in there just perfectly. So 15 yards added on to an already big gain.
Chris Brown stays in the game. Now the offset eye. They give it to Brown, right side. Lowers his shoulder and gets it down to the 38-yard line. Terrence Knighton made the stop. Well, like Jacksonville, the Titans are trying to avoid an 0-3 start. The Jets trying to keep the magic going. Brown again. No running room, maybe a loss of 1. Clint Ingram, who had 11 tackles last week against Arizona, made the stop in his 4th year out of Oklahoma. 3rd and 8 for Houston. Texans are trying to start 2-0 in the AFC South for the first time under Gary Kubiak. Jaguars are trying to avoid their first 0-3 start since 2003.
And third downs have been one of the things that's really been hurting Jacksonville. And all these weapons for Houston, tough to defend.
Come on the blitz, Schaub. Flush from the pocket. Gets rid of it. And throws it away, and he is slow getting up. Atia Ellison showed some good wheels for a big man.
Well, I'll tell you what, one way to limit and control the weapons of the Houston Texans offense is to get pressure on Matt Schaub. We talked about how Jacksonville has got to find a way to get him rattled, to get him comfortable. Right there you can see Matt Schaub not happy, not able to get comfortable back there. He was hit earlier in the drive. They got the personal foul called, but the quarterback can only take so much. You get hit a few times, it starts affecting you.
Matt Turk from midfield. Thomas lets it roll into the end zone for a touchback. Time of possession just about even between these two clubs.
You can't get much closer than that.
Oh, you can't. 10-7 Jacksonville, just over 9 minutes to play in the half. From their own 20-yard line. Garrard rolling to his right. Under pressure, throws it away.
You know, one of the unique things about this Jacksonville Jaguars team is their offensive line. You look at the two rookie draft choices this year, and then you combine it with the three guys in the middle here who have missed significant time. You got Manawai, Meester, and Williams all missed significant time last year, and then the two new draft choices. This is an offensive line that really has not spent much time together, and the guys that were veterans or that are veterans last year didn't hardly play at all.
2nd and 10. Houston showing blitz. Up the middle, Maurice Jones-Drew fights his way to the 24-yard line. Zach Dials, the weak side linebacker, made the stop. He was the starter at strong side linebacker last year before he broke his leg.
And Bill, to follow up there on that offensive line, what is unique about that, and as a former player, I know to have one new part into an offensive line is significant because they have to learn how to work together and to communicate, but to have two rookies and three guys that have never really played together, that's a big challenge. So David Garrard, he's got to be patient. These guys are playing well today, but it's going to be a work in progress.
3rd and 6. They have to get just to the 30-yard line. Ryan Cushing made the play. 4th down. 260 pounds, Cushing, and runs a 4.6 40. 15th selection overall, and the Texans feel like they've got themselves a real football player here.
And when you watch him run around in the field out there, practice or wherever, you know that he just enjoys coming up and just smacking people.
Taking a little bit of pressure off D'Amico Ryans, who plays in the middle, and Dials has been good on the weak side as well. So Podlish, short punt. Jones fights his way to midfield and falls into Jacksonville territory. We're back. The Texans have had the ball in Jacksonville territory on every possession, but they only have 7 points. Start at the 49-yard line. Slayton is back in the game. Right side, nice hole for Steve Slayton. Tried to cut it back inside and was met by 2 Jacksonville defenders, led by Quentin Groves. Groves limps off the field. Started at outside linebacker today with Jacksonville opening up in the 3-4, but they will switch back and forth depending on the situation. They'll play the 4-3 as well.
Yeah, they've got 3-4 personnel in there right now, 3 down linemen.
Schaub guns it to Walter. 1st down for Houston. Derek Cox, the rookie, made the stop.
Early in the game, he got hit, bit his tongue. The Jaguars have already drawn a little blood, Bill.
That first shot under the helmet rattled us.
Yes.
1st and 10, short drop, pump fake. Johnson, Andre Johnson had to wait for it, but makes the catch down to the 12-yard line.
You know, I have got to fault Reggie Nelson on that. He's got to make that play. He had a chance to get over there and make the play, but I think even now Houston's going to get another personal foul, another late hit on Matt Schaub. Great catch, great play by Andre Johnson and Matt Schaub hooking up there, but I think Reggie Nelson could have made that play and broke it up.
That was good for 25 yards. And Andre looking a little shaken up.
Illegal use of hands to the face, defense number 51. The penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
They call that on Clint Ingram, the outside linebacker.
Let's see. Matt Schaub does a good job pumping it into the hole, but actually the coverage was perfect for Jackson. But Reggie Nelson right there just took a bad angle, and a big receiver like Andre Johnson, you got to take the right angles to hurt him. Matt Schaub not hurt there, not hit too hard, but when you feel people down around your feet, around your ankles, especially when you've got a bad ankle, it gives you something else to think about.
So from the 12-yard line, 1st and 10, Slayton down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Steve Slayton had a monster game against the Jaguars last year, late, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns on 21 carries. He also had 2 catches for 52 yards. Trying to rekindle some of that magic from his rookie year. Andre Johnson, meanwhile, on the sidelines, seems to be indicating his elbow is the problem. Already 64 yards on 3 catches. Play action. Schaub rolling to Walter, diving forward to the pylon. Touchdown! Kevin Walter, welcome back.
You don't think Matt Schaub is happy to have this guy back, do you? He said he does everything we ask of him, and on top of that, when you get the ball in his hands, he knows how to smell that end zone. The guy averages 1 touchdown every 7.5 times he touches the ball. That's a pretty good ratio. It's 7th best in the NFL.
Extra point by Chris Brown is good. And Houston back on top with 5:33 left to go in the half. 4 catches for 60 yards for Kevin Walter. Gary Kubiak called him a lunch pail guy. 7th-round draft pick out of Eastern Michigan. And all he does is find ways to make plays.
You know what I call him, Bill? I call him a football player. He's a guy that you want. There are 31 other teams that would take as many Kevin Walters as you can get, because the guy is versatile. He blocks. He will play different positions. He'll play special teams if you want him to. And most importantly, he produces when he's got the ball in his hand.
9-yard touchdown reception. He caught 8 touchdown passes a year ago. So just 5 plays on that 49-yard drive, and Garrard is set to go back to work.
Combined with Andre Johnson, Kevin Walter and Andre Johnson were the most productive receiving tandem yardage-wise in the NFL last year. 2,474 yards between them, and each of them had 8 touchdowns. That's a pretty respectable duo right there.
You put in Jacoby Jones, who has a touchdown catch today. He's starting to emerge as a receiver. Owen Daniels, the tight end. A lot of weapons for this Texan offense. Mike Thomas playing in his first NFL game today. Returns it. And brings it out close to the 25-yard line. Andre Johnson still talking it over on the sidelines. Rashad Jennings, by the way, the rookie out of Liberty, the 7th-round draft pick, has checked into the game. From the 23-yard line, Garrard straight back, tipped, incomplete. And Brian Cushing got a hand on it.
David Garrard and Maurice Jones-Drew told us in our meeting yesterday that they expect to have a lot of one-on-one coverage. They're expecting you're going to see the blitz coming right here. Cushing coming straight up the middle. They had a lot of pressure coming. Little crisscross there, and Cushing gets that paw up right in the air right as David Garrard lets go of the ball. Garrard, not a tall quarterback, does have a tendency to get balls deflected, and there's Brian Cushing with a little bit more hair than he has right now.
Well, a rookie tradition, they shaved it during training camp. Jennings remains in the game. Garrard to Greg Jones, the fullback. He's swarmed under. D'Amico Ryans was the first man there. And the feeling is that this is easily the best group of linebackers they've ever had here in Houston, with Cushing, Ryans, and Zach Dials.
And we posed a question to Maurice Jones-Drew yesterday, why D'Amico Ryans is so tough. He said, well, first off, he's bow-legged. And he said that means he's a little bit lower to the ground, and he comes with a little bit more pop. He's got the little bend to his knees, and when he hits you, boy, you feel it.
3rd and 11 for Jacksonville. Pressure. Gets rid of it. Torrey Holt, the veteran, makes the catch and a first down. Glover Quinn, the nickelback, the rookie out of New Mexico, made the stop, but it's a first down for Jacksonville after a pickup of 16 yards.
And watch the job right there. David Garrard's strong in the pocket. He's such a great athlete, and he moves around so well. He's 240 pounds. He can rip through the arm of Mario Williams coming off the edge, the short corner. He got by the rookie Evan Britton, but David Garrard bought himself a little extra time, found the veteran Torrey Holt over the middle.
16-yard pickup on 3rd and 11 from the 39. Jones-Drew, Maurice Jones-Drew, and he's going to score. "61 yards.
You know, this is getting to be almost a joke when you talk about the Houston Texans' run defense. They play so well 95% of the time, but they give up runs like this. Look at the hole that's going to develop on this side of the field. Look at, I mean, Bill, there is nothing here. Over pursuit by the safeties. They've got 8 men up in the box. There's no reason. It's discipline, it's communication, and it happens week in and week out. There's no excuse. Prior to that play, only 45 yards rushing for Jacksonville, and Houston's feeling good about themselves. Now they've given up over 100, and Houston's shaking their heads again, saying, what do we have to do to fix this problem?
74 yards today after the touchdown run. Extra point by Scobie was good, so 3:47 left to play in the half, and Jacksonville back on top 17-14.
You know, it's hard for me to figure out who the problem is and where it starts, but if you look right here, watch the safety coming up. That's Biesing, who's going to come up to support the run, but he over pursues, steps up to his right. You see right there, he is supposed to be filling that hole right there, and gives the big cutback lane to Maurice Jones-Drew. And once this guy gets in the open field, there's no way. There's no way you're going to stop him. I mean, if you don't make him run through some tackles or avoid some kind of obstacle, it's not going to happen. Biesing has got to step up into that hole and make that tackle.
Well, over the first 2 games, they were burned for nearly 400 yards on just 6 plays. And that led to Houston being ranked last in the league coming into this game against the run, and last in total defense, giving up an average of 455 yards a game.
And that was David Gibbs, the defensive backs coach, talking to Biesing right there. And I know David Gibbs. He was coaching with the Broncos when I was out there in the early part of this decade, 01 to 03. And David Gibbs will make it very clear how he feels. He's the son of Alex Gibbs, and they do not mix their words. Biesing knows what his responsibility is now, I guarantee you.
Second touchdown of the year for Maurice Jones-Drew. Jacoby Jones with some running room. Such an exciting player, and he brings it out close to the 35-yard line. Andre Johnson is back in the game. 3:40 left to go in the half, and let's see what the Texans can do. Steve Slayton alone in the backfield. Goes to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Schaub checks it down to Slayton. Cuts back inside. And that's a first down for Houston, close to midfield. Rashean Mathis made the stop.
One of the things that really makes this Houston Texans offense go, as much as the play action, is the screen game. They run them as well as anybody in the NFL. You've got athletic linemen that get out there in front. They time it up very well. Steve Slayton really has a good feel for where to settle down and where to get behind those linemen, how to set up his blocks. They run the screen package as well as anybody in the league.
Clock continues to run. That was good for 15 yards. Goes to the 49-yard line now. Little stutter step by Chris Brown, and he's into Jacksonville territory. 2nd and 7. Brown stays in the game. Play action for Schaub. Plenty of time. Guns it. Andre Johnson once again. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Jack Del Rio is baffled, just like I am right now. How does the biggest threat, arguably, and Rasheed Mathis said, I think he's the best receiver in the NFL. How does he get this open? How does he run across the middle of the field and not draw anybody's attention? That's about as easy as it gets. I mean, even Andre Johnson, I think, was surprised on that one.
We're back in Houston. Both teams have moved the ball effectively. 437 yards of offense combined and 18 plays of 10 yards or more. Walter's the motion man. Chris Brown, right side, has a bit of a seam down to the 20-yard line. Bit of extracurricular activity. Officials step in quickly. And this has been a physical contest. That's what we expected. But big plays from both teams.
And we're seeing quite a bit of Chris Brown out there. I think Gary Kubiak very comfortable with the fact that he's got a backup running back behind Slayton like Chris Brown he can feed the ball to.
And that's caught. Did he hang on to the football? Incomplete. Johnson couldn't quite haul that in.
Very, very unlike Andre Johnson. There was no reason why he wouldn't come down with this catch. Ball was delivered on time in the right place by Matt Schaub. And you can see now Andre Johnson's got that pad on his arm. That is what he injured at some point. It looked like it was his elbow, but now it looks like it's a little bit above his elbow. Still no excuse to drop that ball.
So it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Texans. Trail by 3. 17 left to go in the half. Short drop. The out route to Daniels, the tight end. Dives for the chains, and it will all depend on the spot.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit short. But I would not put it past Gary Kubiak to try and go for it here on 4th down, although I think at this point in the game, the right choice is to take the 3 points.
Jacksonville takes a timeout with 1:06 left to play in the opening half.
It looks like they're going to try and go for it, unless they're going to go with that standard play that every NFL team has, where you try and draw the opposing defense off sides.
As a quarterback, you never tried to do that, of course.
Never. And I'm sure Jack Del Rio never does. That's what he's saying right there. Watch the quarterback, don't jump. Yeah, I'm not surprised Gary Kubiak going for this. He's a very aggressive, very confident football coach. I think a lot of coaches would take the points right now, but I'm not a bit surprised. Although I think they're going to try and draw him off sides.
About a half a yard to go. Nope, they toss it back to Walter. He's got the 1st down and more. Walter down to the 5. And that was not a traditional play call on 4th and short.
That was a great play call. I mean, I have nothing to say. I never would have thought of that. There's Kevin Walter coming back in motion. You don't even have a running back on the field. So Jacksonville is probably saying, well, heck, they're going to try and draw us offside, just like I said, or they're going to try and throw a pass. But on 4th and short, why would they make it so obvious they're going to throw a pass? Great design by Kyle Shanahan and Gary Kubiak on that play.
Well, Terrence Knighton, the rookie, the 3rd-round draft pick out of Temple, is down on the field. The first rookie to start at defensive tackle in the history of the franchise. Big body out of Temple, but to the lower part of that left leg looks like the issue. And he was one of the players that Jack Del Rio said was just a really terrific, pleasant surprise for Jacksonville in the preseason.
He has made a huge difference on this Jacksonville team. You've got to have, if you're going to commit to going to the 3-4, whether it be as your base offense or as just a significant part, a base defense or a significant part of your defense, you've got to have somebody that can line up on that center and occupy as much space as possible, plug it up. And Terrence Knighton, for a rookie, they've been tremendously impressed with him. Let's take a look at what happened. Yeah, if you can see right here, he's got that ankle kind of rolled up underneath. A lot of bodies in that pile. And yeah, that was
Eric Winston, number 73, the right tackle. So he'll go to the locker room.
Yeah, they're going to go and look at it. Probably only 50 seconds left in the first half. They're going to go and try and get an idea of how significant that injury is.
So first and goal for Houston. Jacksonville leading 17-14.
Well, this is an area where Gary Kubiak, Kyle Shanahan, very hard to figure out what they're going to try and do. I like trying to get the ball to Owen Daniels here.
Chris Brown stopped just short of the goal line. Almost 2,700 yards and 16 touchdowns in his career. He was injured all of last year, but Gary Kubiak told us he has a lot of confidence in his ability to make the tough runs.
Oh, good, strong, physical run right there. Super job again by the right side of that offensive line, Eric Winston and Mike Brazel. You can get that kind of push in a power short yardage kind of formation down there in the red zone, running straight at him. Boy, that's a good job by the big boys up front.
29 seconds remaining.
Kind of surprising we don't see Steve Slayton out there. You know, I think there are a lot of people that would expect to see him in there in this situation, but when you've got the veteran, the big running back, the bruising type of running back that Chris Brown is, I think that's why Gary Kubiak brought him here. I think they brought him here for these short yardage goal line type of situations.
One timeout, all right?
He stays in on second and goal. Brown. Ooh. And he'll lose a couple. Tremendous penetration by the Jacksonville front.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what. I think that was Big John Henderson, number 98, that got up on the snap, right on the snap. So quick for a man his size. He got that initial penetration that got Houston out of whack, out of control, and that freed up Quentin Groves to come in and make the good, solid tackle on Chris Brown.
And
he's hurt.
He was banged up earlier. Second year out of Auburn, second round draft pick. They actually lost a yard on the play. Clock stops with 23 seconds left. John Henderson, they move him around a lot, you know, alternating back and forth with the 3-4 and 4-3. Plays at defensive end in the 3-4 and a defensive tackle in the 4-3. Former first round draft pick of the Jaguars back in 2002. In his 8th year out of Tennessee. He's a big man, number 98.
If I'm Jacksonville right now, I'm trying to find a way to keep my eye on number 81, Owen Daniels. Here he is on the side of the formation.
The whistle before the snap, and Jacksonville
Timeout.
takes a timeout.
Jacksonville.
You know, that's
Third and final team timeout.
That's a smart call right there by Jack Del Rio. I think he had that planned all along. He wanted to let Gary Kubiak get his play picked, the play that he felt best about, come out and show the formation, and then now make him have to come up with another play. Jack Del Rio playing the chess game very well.
Played 11 years. Solid linebacker in the National Football League, playing with a lot of fire. Last time out for Jacksonville, the Texans have one remaining.
They could.
Spotted back at the 2-yard line. Third and goal. Brown is alone in the backfield. They spread him out. Short drop, floats it to the end zone. Touchdown, Owen Daniels.
You know, on alignment, you could see that was the desirable matchup for Matt Schaub. You isolate one-on-one a player of Owen Daniels' abilities on a linebacker. If I'm Matt Schaub, I'm going there all the way. You're going to see He's got inside coverage. A lot of room to work with. Darryl Smith, the tough task trying to cover Owen Daniels all over the field.
He took a little bit off that pass wisely. Daniels comes down with it. The extra point by Chris Brown is good. And the Texans have regained the lead with 19 seconds to play in the half. And that is the 5th lead change today. 21-17 Houston. Well, Jack Del Rio told us, we think we can run with these guys. No one talks about our offense being explosive, but we can make plays.
Well, I think Jack Del Rio probably wishes he wouldn't have called that timeout now. He would like to see how that other play would have worked out.
Owen Daniels, he is coming off a Pro Bowl season, second among tight ends in the AFC in receptions, a former college quarterback who has a great understanding of coverages and what defenses are trying to do. And he's too strong for most safeties, too big, and too fast for linebackers to cover. So he's become sort of the prototype of a tight end in the National Football League.
No doubt about it. This is a game about matchups. All these guys can play football, but if you've got a guy who's faster or bigger and can create those matchups, the quarterbacks in these offenses are so high-tech now, they can isolate and find ways to make you look bad.
Another squib kick taken by one of the up guys. And that's Tia Ellison getting a chance to rumble. And he brings it out to about the 38, 39-yard line. Let's take a look at the standings in the AFC South. Houston trying to start 2-0 in the division, and Jacksonville and Tennessee are both trying to avoid 0-3 starts.
Yeah, this is really an important game for Jacksonville. You come out 3 of your first 4 games are in the division. If you lose those 3 games, you've got some serious problems.
Next week they're at home against Tennessee.
Yep.
So let's see what Jacksonville tries to do here. Garrard buying some extra time. Zips it out incomplete. 4 seconds remaining. Mercedes Lewis was the intended receiver. And we have a flag on the play across the field. Jack Del Rio.
Illegal touch of a forward pass. Number 89 offense. Went out of bounds, came back inbounds, was the first to touch the ball. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So they're spotted back at the 33-yard line. Jack doesn't like to use the R word, rebuilding, but there are certainly a lot of new faces waiting for guys to start to step up. They're definitely a team in transition. Battle Red Day in Houston. The Texans lead the Jaguars 21-17. Bill McAtee back with Steve Berline. And Steve, that was a very entertaining first half. It was cleanly played. Both teams moved the ball very, very effectively.
Entertaining to say the least. I mean, there were everything. Five lead changes in the first half. Both teams moving the ball up and down the field. We saw a little bit of everything. I think Houston's playing a little bit better defensively, but the breakdown on the long run again is what's been killing them all year. Maurice Jones-Drew happy to take advantage of that. Matt Schaub and his Texans offense moving the ball right up and down the field. I can't believe how easy some of it's been. There's been good pressure on Schaub, but he's got receivers running pretty wide open all over the field. So you look at the numbers, right at 200 yards passing for Matt Schaub in the first half. Another big day setting up for him, obviously.
3 touchdown passes. Maurice Jones-Drew with that 61-yard touchdown run. Jacksonville won the toss. They deferred, so they'll have the ball to start the second half.
You know, you take away that one big play for Maurice Jones-Drew and the Jaguars offense, and really Houston has not done a bad job defensively. And that truly is. I mean, they could say that all 3 of their games this year.
Chris Brown to the rookie. Thomas takes it at the 5. Loses some ground, and he's going to be brought down at the 16 or 17-yard line. Dominique Barber made the stop. So Jacksonville will have it to start. The numbers for Garrard in the first half. He had a touchdown run. 9 of 16 for 100 yards through the air. 24 and 24 as a starter. He threw for over 3,600 yards last year. Texans lead it 21-17, just underway in the second half. Maurice Jones-Drew, who has a long touchdown run today, alone in the backfield. Garrard to the sideline, and that is caught by Mike Sims-Walker.
It looks like we're not going to see much different if you go by the first play of the second half. Houston is going to line up with an 8-man front. They're going to stick Beasing, number 40, up in the box to try and account for Maurice Jones-Drew, be that extra man up in there. They're going to give David Garrard and his receivers one-on-one coverage on the outside. I'd like to see Jacksonville and Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator for Jacksonville, try and take advantage of those matchups a little bit more.
Back up.
Gain of 6 on first down, 2nd and 4 now.
You see press coverage across the board.
Jones-Drew. Close to the 24-yard line, Antonio Smith made the stop. Played in the Super Bowl with Arizona, came over as an unrestricted free agent from Arizona to bookend with Mario Williams, give the Texans formidable defensive ends and a solid pass rush. And Mario told us the biggest difference is he sees a lot more single teams now.
It helps to have a bookend on that other side. It really does.
3rd and 3 for the Jaguars from their own 23-yard line. Garrard as they come on the blitz. Jones-Drew with the catch and a first down. Nico Ryans finally pushed him out of bounds. That's one of the things that makes him so effective. Maurice Jones-Drew is his ability to catch the football.
Well, watch Beasing, number 40, shooting right at the gap. Right, he's got a clean shot at David Garrard, but Garrard does a good job knowing the down and distance, knowing the situation, and knowing that I've got a pretty good guy with the football in his hands on the outside in space. Maurice Jones-Drew. There aren't many guys that can tackle him one-on-one. Fred Bennett sure didn't do it right there. Nice conversion by Jacksonville.
First down for the Jaguars. The reverse. Thomas, the rookie, to midfield and into Houston territory. Beasing made the tackle.
Boy, he looked good running with the football, this rookie, Mike Thomas. This is the guy that Torrey Holt actually compared to Steve Smith, the Carolina Panthers, as far as his build. He's short but powerful, and he's a long strider. He said when he kicks it in, he's deceptively fast. I'll tell you what, there wasn't much of a seam. The contain was there for the Houston Texans, but Thomas too fast, accelerating right through it.
Greg Jones is now in the backfield. On first down from the 47-yard line. Pump fake by Garrard up the sideline. Jones-Drew couldn't stop and come back and get it. It split him out as a wide receiver. Greg Jones was in the backfield.
This is one that David Garrard has to hit. They got exactly what they were looking for. One-on-one coverage on Maurice Jones-Drew. He ran a double move. He ran the sluggo, which is a slant and go. And you can see in the NFL, Bill, that is wide open. There's a single safety in the middle of the field. You got one-on-one coverage on the outside. Maurice Jones-Drew was at least a step behind the defender, Eugene Wilson. That should have been a big play, if not a touchdown, for Jacksonville.
Rashad Jennings is the deep back, the rookie out of Liberty. Garrard. Incomplete. Too high for Mike Sims-Walker.
Bill, I'm gonna take credit, pat myself on the back. I picked Tennessee in that game. A lot of people thought I was crazy, but I know too much respect for Jeff Fisher going up there. It's going to be a tough game, but I think they're going to hold on and win that game.
Like Jacksonville, they can't afford to start 0-3. 3rd and 10 for the Jaguars. All along, Sims-Walker. And David Garrard threw a strike.
His 2 previous throws, Bill, were not very good. The one to Maurice Jones-Drew up the sideline, then he threw high on a comeback on the other side to Sims Walker. But right here, he sees the coverage. He knows that Fred Bennett is squatting, and Biesing is not quick enough to get out there and close that hole. Sims Walker did a nice job of settling down in the open spot, and Garrard threw a BB right in there. Gary Kubiak not pleased at all right now.
Bennett thought he had help deep, but Biesing slow getting over. So 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Jones-Drew moving the pile. No whistle yet. And finally, he's brought down at the 14-yard line. He's 5'7", listed at 208. And he can do some tough running inside. We've already seen what he can do when he gets in space.
It's like a rugby scrum out there, right, huh? Look at that pile moving. Wow. You know what? You got to play through the whistle. That whistle didn't blow. Jaguar players kept moving their legs, and that pile kept moving on with it.
Ended up getting 5 yards out of nothing. So 2nd and 5. Jacksonville on the move. Garrard got rid of it just in time. Sims Walker inside the 1.
You know what you can see, Bill? You can already see the confidence between David Garrard and Mike Sims Walker. He is having no hesitation where he wants to go with these footballs. He's looking to the right side all the way. Even though he had Torrey Holt one-on-one on the backside on Dante Robinson, they have found something with Sims against Fred Bennett. I think they like going to Fred Bennett a lot more than Dante Robinson, and Sims Walker's taking advantage.
1st and goal. Jones-Drew, touchdown. Spins into the end zone.
I promise you, Jack Del Rio skipped the beat there for a second. David Garrard almost dropped that ball on the snap, which is the coach's worst nightmare when the ball is fumbled there in the goal line situation. You'll see David Garrard didn't get this ball clean. He had to go down and pick it up. Never hit the ground, but he almost dropped it. Maurice Jones-Drew finishes it off.
Scobie on to try the extra point. And a whistle before the snap.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Mo Williams, the right guard. But that was an efficient 83-yard drive by Jacksonville. Talked to Jack Del Rio. He just had this quiet confidence. I don't know what they saw on tape, but they felt like they could really move the football against this Texan defense. So once again, well, an impressive drive, 10 plays, 83 yards. The touchdown run by Jones-Drew, set up by the nice catch by Mike Sims Walker inside the 1. And our 6th lead change. 24-21 Jacksonville. Jacoby Jones. Little hesitation. Gets it to the 18-yard line. Jacksonville scores on their opening possession of the second half. Let's take a look at the murderer's row that this Jacksonville defense has faced here this season already. Manning, Warner, and now Schaub.
It doesn't get any tougher than that. I mean, you can make a case for the Patriots and Brady, but they're not clicking yet this year. You look at these guys and the weapons that each one of these quarterbacks has. It is, I mean, to start out with that back to back to back, that's a tough task for any defense.
See if again the Texans can respond. Schaub checks it down. That's Leach, the fullback, to the 22-yard line.
There's Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator for Jacksonville, hoping that the second half goes a little bit better than the first half did. Just a little bit too easy. Doing a good job creating the pressure on Matt Schaub, and that does definitely have a cumulative effect. But if you look at the film last week from the Arizona Cardinals game, came with a lot of pressure, but Kurt Warner still completed 24 out of 26. A lot of guys running around open.
Steve Slayton is back in the game. 2nd and 6, short drop to Daniels, still on his feet. Great balance, dives forward. That's a first down to the 33-yard line.
And that's one of the things that it's a problem now. You decide to come with pressure once in a while. You better be willing to, or find a way. You better have an answer for the short, quick passing game. That really is what killed Jacksonville last week against Kurt Warner and the Cardinals. Today, we're seeing more plays up the field, but right there, short, quick one to Owen Daniels in the flat. You got to have an answer.
That was good for 11 yards and a first down. Jones was the motion man. They give it to Slayton. Cuts back. Has some running room. Churning his legs. Now to the 44-yard line. Steve Slayton.
This is the run that Gary Kubiak wants to see. Watch him come off this left side. Watch the one cut on the left foot. Boom. There it is. He makes the decision to go. He takes it up in there. Sure, great job by the left side of the offensive line, but you see the decisiveness. He made the decision, said, this is where I'm supposed to take this football. That's what Steve Slayton needs to do.
42 yards today. Last game was for 11 yards. Slayton, little stutter step, breaks free and into Jacksonville territory. Tough running now from Slayton to the 45-yard line of the Jaguars.
Slayton himself, when we spoke to him on Friday, told us maybe it is a confidence thing. You know, he had the 3 fumbles coming into this game, out of 32 touches coming in as well, and also the just not having any of the big runs where he had any green grass anyway, anything to get going. Today now, once he's gotten a few of these, he's starting to taste it, starting to feel it again.
3 straight 11-yard gains, and Houston is on the move. They trail by 3. Slayton to the 42-yard line.
And it's like in the NBA, Bill, when you got a guy that's hot. You know, when Michael Jordan wanted the ball with the Bulls back in the day, or Kobe Bryant now, when he's hot, you feed him. You let him keep going. Right now, Steve Slayton is that guy. He's hot. He's feeling the rhythm. The line has got a good rhythm going up front. Looks like Gary Kubiak and Kyle Shanahan want to ride that horse right now.
Came in ranked last in the league through the first 2 weeks running the football. Already a big improvement here early in the second half. Caught by Leach. Inside the 40, down close to the 38-yard line. Justin Durant, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
And a very good play by Justin Durant. We're talking about the running game, and that's what makes Houston so dangerous. If they get that running game going, stay committed to it, you've got to respect it. The linebackers have got to be very disciplined in their keys and their reads. Right there, Justin Durant did a good job respecting the run, but reading the pass, and made a good break on the ball.
A shotgun on 3rd down, 3rd and 4. Schaub. Slayton was all alone. And Matt Schaub loves it.
Well, right here, look, this is Steve Slayton right here. Well, actually, he's coming out of the backfield. He's going to run right down the sideline. I'm sorry, but Matt Schaub identifies right away that it's man coverage, run one-on-one with the linebacker. Not a good matchup for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Steve Slayton straight down the sideline. Good read by Matt Schaub identifying man coverage.
Chris Brown is in the game now. The deep back, he gets it on 1st down. Lowers his shoulder down to the 13-yard line. 5:20 left to go in the 3rd. This is just the first possession of the second half for the Texans.
You know, this is an amazing stat right here. Jacksonville, always known as a team that does not give up big plays at all. Always one of the league leaders. Right there, you can see they've given up 11 already today. Houston, known for kind of giving up the big plays. Not as surprising, but Jack Del Rio does not like to see that.
Brown stays in the game. Play action, incomplete, and that was a dangerous pass from Schaub, throwing into tight coverage for David Anderson.
This was a dangerous throw by Matt Schaub. Really not a good decision. If you're going to throw this ball, it's got to be thrown on rhythm. Look how long and how late this ball is thrown over the middle. Right there, that could very easily have been picked off by Reggie Nelson. Matt Schaub, he knows better than that. If that play is going to be there, it's going to be there right on rhythm. He takes his 5-step drop and he throws it. If it's not there, you got to know where your check down is.
7 possessions for the Texans. They've been in Jacksonville territory all 7 times. Trying to regain the lead now, trailing 24-21. They're facing a 3rd and long here. They have to get down to the 7-yard line for a first down.
Here's
10th play of the drive coming.
There's the matchup we've been talking about. You get one-on-one.
They come on the blitz. Texans pick it up. Schaub's going to try to run for the first down. And he'll be stopped a couple of yards short. Rashean Mathis closed in a hurry. And we expected to see Garrard try to make plays with his feet, but not Matt Schaub.
I was surprised that Schaub actually looked pretty comfortable running the ball there. And you see Schaub on Andre Johnson. Look at what Rashean Mathis, or Andre Johnson covered by Rashean Mathis. Mathis makes the decision to drop Andre Johnson fast enough to close the gap on Matt Schaub and make the tackle.
27-yard field goal try. Don't worry about it, Steve. It was watching Schaub reminiscent of Burline taking off. And a bit tongue-tied. The field goal is good. Tied at 24 here in Houston. Jacksonville made it to the playoffs 2 years ago. They upset the Steelers, remember, the AFC wildcard game, but then last year fell to 5-11 and lost 6 of its last 7 games. Trying to avoid an 0-3 start. Underwood fumbles the ball. Gets it back and out of bounds, short of the 15-yard line. Back in Houston, and this is every rookie's nightmare, a muff on the kickoff.
That is not a good feeling, I guarantee you.
Tyquan Underwood just signed this week from the practice squad, 7th-round pick out of Rutgers. The Jaguars retain possession. A big hole for Jones-Drew. And he's had a few of those out to the 24-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, Houston is very, very lucky that Roy Ellison was playing defense on that team, and that play right there. Roy Ellison is number 81. He's wearing the black and white jersey. The referee that comes up and makes the tackle right there. If it wasn't for him, I think Maurice Jones-Drew gets by Dante Robinson, and he might still be running right now.
From the 24-yard line after the first down. Garrard. Torrey Holt, the intended receiver, and a flag.
I'm not sure which way they're going to call this.
It's going to be close.
They both were kind of mixing it up.
Maybe they're going to wave it off.
There is no foul for pass interference.
I agree with that call for sure. If you're going to call it on one of them, you got to call it on both of them. You'll see Torrey Holt and Dante Robinson both kind of got their hands going. You see Torrey Holt reaching back, kind of holding Dante Robinson down.
Dante, of course, held out all of the preseason. Torrey Holt said he watched him on film and couldn't believe how good he looked. He said he was going to go up to him during the pregame and congratulate him. Good job, my man, because this is really only his second week of the preseason. 2nd and 10 for Jacksonville. Again, from the 24-yard line, showing blitz. Here come the Texans. Garrard, they do a nice job picking it up, and that's complete to Holt.
Well, right here, you get to see a little bit of what it is that makes Torrey Holt so special. Watch him set up this move. He takes it inside, throws a head in there. Dante Robinson, who is, by the way, a top-notch cornerback and was holding out because he was franchised by the Houston Texan organization. He did not want to be the franchise player, but he's ready to play, playing well. Torrey Holt set that route up perfectly.
He's matched up at the top of the screen with Torrey Holt. In Texan territory, play action. Garrard up the left sideline. Out of bounds. Sims Walker couldn't come down inbounds with the football. Fred Bennett had pretty good coverage.
I'm going to tell you something, Bill. I don't care how tough your quarterback is. The hit David Garrard took on this play, we'll show it in a second, but Sims Walker, boy, I love the way he goes up with those big hands. Look at this hit. Ooh, man, that hurts me. I'm telling you, I've seen that a few times. It is not a good feeling.
Dominique Barber, the strong safety, coming off the bench after a tough day in week 2. Although he did have a 48-yard fumble return for a touchdown. The reverse to Thomas. They ran this earlier and it was effective, and it produces again. And a flag for a late hit. And it's going to be on the rookie, Cushing.
A little frustration out of Cushing right there. And I love the way this Mike Thomas runs the football. He does remind me a lot of Steve Smith. I can see what Torrey Holt is saying.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds, number 56 defense. A 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Move it all the way to the 21-yard line.
Watch how comfortable he looks running this ball and how he sets up. He's so compact and explosive and strong enough to run right through. No doubt about it. Cushing hits him well out of bounds.
So a 13-yard gain, 15 more on the penalty. Thomas missed the first 3 preseason games with a hamstring. This is his first ever NFL game. Jones drew the lone setback. They swing it out to him. Still on his feet. Maurice Jones-Drew. He hit his own teammate and finally is stopped near the 12-yard line.
That was his center, Brad Meester, he ran into, but you can see what it is that makes Maurice Jones-Drew so special right there. Dangerous throw by David Garrard over the top, but very accurate, got it in there, and then you can just count the number of missed tackles, the way this guy can just rip right through. You got 1 already, 2, 3, 4 guys, 5. Finally, the 6th guy is the one that can actually get a hand on him solid enough to slow him down and hold him up for his teammates to get involved.
Shot Jennings, the rookie, is the deep back. And they give it to him. Stopped just short of the first down. D'Amico Ryans, the middle linebacker, the defensive captain, made the tackle. So it'll be 3rd and short for Jacksonville.
Well, this Jacksonville offense, you got to pat him on the back. Dirk Cutter does a great job. One of the most successful offensive coordinators in the NFL over the last 3 years. There you see him.
He's not happy with something he's seeing out there.
Yeah, they're going to take a timeout, it looks like. There goes Jack Del Rio running out on the field.
So some confusion on the play for Jacksonville. They'll take a timeout. Scored on their opening drive here in the second half and trying for more here. Jack kind of smiles and shakes his head. These guys are loose. You wouldn't believe they're 0-2 and in a tight one, in danger of falling to 0-3. There's just not a lot of tension showing on the faces of the coaching staff or the players.
Yeah, we were shocked yesterday that just the overall attitude that we expected to see, the long faces, the intensity, the real frustration, almost the must-win kind of attitude. But well, they came in feeling very confident, and I can see why.
High formation, 3rd and short. Jones-Drew tries to spin forward for the first down. He will not get it. Nice defensive surge by the Texans, led by D'Amico Ryans.
Well, that was a great time to make a stand right there. You can see there's D'Amico Ryans, number 59. Takes on the block with the correct shoulder. Not a very good effort by Greg Jones, the fullback.
Ready to start the final period, tied at 24. Jacksonville Jaguars are threatening. And just about dead even. This has been a real battle between these two teams. And Jacksonville is going to go for it on 4th and 1. Jones-Drew's the deep back. He was denied on 3rd down. Give it to him again. Cuts back inside, a 1st down, and it will be 1st and goal. Dominique Barber, the strong safety, made the tackle.
Jack Del Rio is very, very confident in his team, and he's always been the kind of coach that goes forward on 4th down. This was a very good run, gutsy run by Maurice Jones-Drew. You had Dante Robinson coming up to meet him in the backfield. What an unbelievable cut. And Jack Del Rio says, that's my guy right there. Let's go.
1st and goal from the 8. The Jaguars trying to regain the lead. Up the middle, Maurice Jones-Drew, touchdown! His 3rd touchdown of the game.
He is impressive, isn't he? You lose him. I mean, he got into that 2nd level for the Houston Texans defense. You kind of lose him for a second, but he comes out stronger than he goes in. Great run.
That's a good way for Jacksonville to start the 4th quarter. The extra point is good. Maurice Jones-Drew after his 4th touchdown of the season, giving the Jaguars the lead once again, 31-24. And this will be only the 2nd offensive possession of the 2nd half for the Houston Texans. Jacoby Jones is back deep. Scobie kick is a deep one, 4 yards deep in the end zone. Jones bringing it out. And spun down close to the 19-yard line. And let's take a look at an updated list of where he stands, the leaders in the NFL since 2006. Of course, Tomlinson had that big year, 30-plus touchdowns, but Maurice Jones-Drew right there with 44.
Yeah, that's pretty good company he's keeping right there. 3 today.
Orlando, right outside of.
And you look at him, he's only 5'7". So it's hard to believe sometimes that this guy can excel the way he does in the National Football League. First year as the full-time starter. Now the Texans go back to work. They pick up the blitz. Dangerous pass, but it's caught by Walter. And a 1st down for Houston, close to the 30.
Derek Cox, the rookie, number 21, the 3rd-round draft choice for Jacksonville. Had a chance to break on that ball, just lost his balance a little bit, didn't get the hand on it. Kevin Walter, good enough to focus, look that thing in, and make the nice catch.
So they move the chains after the 11-yard pickup. ...251 yards through the air for Schaub. Slayton is along the backfield. They fake it to him. Schaub under pressure and sacked. Held it a little too long.
And Montavious Stanley on the sack there. Definitely Matt Schaub holding the ball too long. Bill, as you said, he's got time to hitch. He's got to see that there's nothing there up the field and get rid of that football. Montavious Stanley is not going to sneak up on anybody. He was coming, and I'm sure he's probably yelling and screaming when he saw that red right in front of him.
So loss of 7, 2nd and 17. Swing it out to the flat. Jacoby Jones in space. And he was caught by the ankle by Darrell Smith.
Darrell Smith, tremendous play right there, Brell. He got blocked, but had the presence and the ability to get up off the ground and still make the tackle on a pretty good runner with the football. You see he's down right there, gets back up on his feet, and still good enough athlete to be able to find a piece of Jacoby Jones and bring him down.
Former 2nd-round draft pick out of Georgia Tech in 2004. So 3rd and long, 3rd and 12 for Houston.
Here comes the blitz.
Schaub setting the blocking assignments, and then we have movement in the line. And it looked like it was Dwayne Brown who moved early.
76, a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Had 2 key recoveries of Steve Slayton fumbles last week to help preserve the win at Tennessee.
When talking to Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans, this is a situation where very scary for a play call for an offense. 3rd and long. You got the situation, the predicament of trying to force something in there or take something safe.
We haven't seen too many defensive stops today. Batted down, it'll bring up 4th down. Nice defensive stand from the Jaguars. It was Derek Harvey who got a hand on it.
Yeah, Jacksonville did a great job that series. Really forcing the hand of Houston right there. We had a tight end screen coming to Owen Daniels on the right-hand side. And that was big number 91, Derek Harvey, coming in there. Easy to knock it down.
Harvey, a 1st-round draft pick by the Jags last year, led the team with 29 quarterback pressures. So Matt Turk punting to Mike Thomas, the rookie, who fields it at the 26-yard line and is swarmed under. 11:43 left to play, and there's a man down on the field being helped off. That's Sean Thompson, the linebacker, who banged his knee against his teammate's helmet in making the tackle.
Now you can see a tremendous play by him, but watch the left leg right there swinging around. It gets kind of caught up in that helmet, and you can tell.
Grab the left knee immediately.
Yeah, right there you see that the helmet wins the battle most of the time in that situation.
Well, the Texan defense needs a stop.
Well, if they ever did, this is the time right here.
Down 31-24. Reese Jones-Drew continuing to pound it inside. Out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Zach Dials, the linebacker, the weak side backer, made the stop. 3 touchdowns today for number 32. Over 100 yards on 17 carries.
And you can see right there, consistent with the season. 175 yards given up today.
2nd and 6. The blitz up the middle, a nice hole. Jones-Drew has a 1st down for Jacksonville. They'll move the chains.
Just a good, solid stretch play to the left-hand side, running right over the top of Meester and Manawai and Eugene Monroe, the rookie 1st-round draft choice at left tackle. Good, solid run. This is a Jacksonville team now that's playing with a lot of confidence. They feel like they've got the Texans defense on their heels, and there's a good reason for them to feel that way. They do. Houston doesn't know what's coming at them next.
1st and 10. They're back to the well, and it doesn't work that time. Jones-Drew turned back. Brian Cushing was the 1st man there.
That was good, solid gap control right there. Cushing finishing off the play.
2nd and 10. Jones-Drew will take a breather. Jennings checks in. He's the deep back. 9:40 left to play. Jaguars by 7. Gerard on the short drop. Deep slant. And Torrey Holt got leveled, and we're going to have a flag for a late hit.
That is one of the points of emphasis in the NFL.
Now they're claiming it was tipped.
That's true.
At the line of scrimmage, so let's see.
That's a good point. That will pick up the flag, I think, a tip ball.
Personal foul. Illegal contact against the defenseless receiver. Number 26 defense. 15-yard penalty and a 1st down.
In that case, it doesn't matter if it's tipped or not. Eugene Wilson gets the call.
Yeah, they determined that he could have avoided the hit, that he had time, but on a tip ball, a lot of times they'll give the benefit of the doubt to the receiver or to the defensive player because the timing is not there.
There's no question that Zach Dials got a piece of it.
No doubt about it. A tip ball should nullify that in most cases.
So they spotted at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. And again, Jacksonville on the move. They already lead by 7. They run the reverse again to Thomas. Flag on the play. Thomas is brought down at the 43-yard line. And the early indication is that it's against Jacksonville. They're moving back.
Offense number 33. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Call that on Greg Jones.
Yeah, we saw Greg Jones earlier not make a very solid block on D'Amico Ryans, and right there gets called for the holding call, putting his team back in a 1st and 20. You know, when you've got the momentum and you've got things going your way, you'd almost rather let them make that stop for no gain rather than losing 10 yards.
From the 45-yard line. Garrard, they run the screen. Jones drew back into Houston territory. Brought down at about the 47-yard line by Brian Cushing.
Bill, I think that in Maurice Jones-Drew's case, you could make a strong case that his size and the build of his body, I mean, we sat and talked with him yesterday. He is a thick guy, and his build, his overall physical stature, I think, is an advantage to him, being so low to the ground and so thick to the ground. A lot of these bigger guys, they come and slam him, but they can't take him down.
When he came out of UCLA, most people thought he was going to be limited to special teams and a 3rd down back. Very few people thought he had a chance as an every down back. He's become that. Garrard has to throw it away, incomplete. Antonio Smith almost had a sack.
Now right here, Jack Del Rio wants David Garrard to be smart. You know, he challenged Dave Garrard this week, and he told us in person as well that he needs his quarterback to step up and play well today and play well the rest of this season. As you look at the 3rd down conversions, David Garrard has played smart today, has played well, made plays with his feet and with his arm. He's got to be smart right here, though, in 3rd and long.
Big play for the Houston defense. They need to get the ball back for their offense. Checks it down to Jennings. He has to go to the 36-yard line, and he's going to be stopped about 3 yards short. Cushing again on the tackle.
Jack Del Rio will take that, though. That was the right decision by David Garrard. There was nothing there up the field. Play the field position game. You got the lead. Let's see if we can pin Houston back deep in their own territory and make them go 80-plus yards. Oh, here they go. What are they doing?
Well, it's 4th and 3.
They got Podlish. There's a short snap.
Maybe a little short pooch punt.
They're going to take delay of game here, it looks like, and move it back 5, although Houston can decline that penalty.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
So they'll step it off back to the 44-yard line. Podlish will have a little more room to work with. It will be a long field. Unless we have a big return by Jacoby Jones, it'll be a long field for Houston. You got to figure this one's going toward the sidelines. End over end, high short kick. Fair catch is made. 89 yards to go for the Houston Texans. 7:04 on the clock. Jacksonville leads by 7. Slayton is alone in the backfield. Walter, the motion man. Schaub trying to set up the screen and does to Slayton. Cuts it back inside and gets back just about to the line of scrimmage. And 200 yards in the first half, only 56 yards in the second half, but the Texans have not had the ball much. Toward the sideline, they close immediately on Kevin Walter, who stopped at the 18-yard line. Derek Cox, the rookie, was the first man there.
There you see Kyle Shanahan again. A little bit of urgency now to try and get this ball out of their own territory. And you might get another chance if you don't score on this drive, but you got to play like this is the drive. You got to do it.
3rd and 3, big play. Schaub flushed from the pocket, sacked. Clint Ingram tripped him up.
And you're giving the ball back now to Jacksonville, most likely with good field position. A field goal makes it a 2-score game, and that's tough. Tough to overcome in the last 6 minutes of a ball game.
And that is the first 3 and out for the Jacksonville defense.
And not a very good punt there.
And it takes a Houston bounce. And they down it at about the 40-yard line. Just under 5.5 minutes left to go. And the Texans need a stop. The numbers today for Maurice Jones-Drew. 144 total yards from scrimmage. Long count. They give it to 32. And he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Mario Williams led the surge.
We saw Ernest Williford, the converted receiver, now playing tight end in motion over there. He was the key front side block. That's an area that if he wants to play more, he's got to be able to show he can do that. He gave up the inside pressure on that play, and that's what stumped that play. If he makes that block, Maurice Jones-Drew might be off for a bigger game.
72 is eligible.
And Steve, if everyone knows that they're trying to get the ball to number 32, why has he had so much success?
Well, 2 reasons. 1, he's pretty good. and 2 is that the Texans defense has not been able to successfully stop anybody so far this year running the football. Jacksonville's doing a good job.
Gerard will throw. Sims Walker puts it on the ground. The Texans have it. Zach Dials.
Dante Robinson's the one that came in and made that strip. Perfectly timed strip. And boy, did Houston need that at this time. You'll see. David Garrard does a good job dumping it to Sims Walker right there. Dante Robinson comes in and just strips it clean. And Dials is right there, right place at the right time. Boy, what a huge, huge turnover Houston came up with right there. And Jack Del Rio, boy, all of a sudden this game got a lot more interesting.
New life for the Texans. 4:25 to go, and Del Rio's going to charge it. Going to challenge it. He said his knee is down and we want to review.
Jacksonville has challenged the ruling on the field of a fumble.
No, I don't think Jack Del Rio has a chance on this one. That ball was stripped clean as soon as Dante Robinson made contact. You'll see. There's the strip right there. That ball is out easy, clearly before the knee is down.
Found that under the category of why not.
That is coaching reel strip right there. I mean, that could not have been executed any better by Dante Robinson.
And that's the chance you take with inexperienced players. Mike Sims Walker has not played, even though he's in his 3rd year. He's not played a full season, and they just showed it on the video board, and the folks here know that the Texans are going to have the football.
Yeah, it's pretty clear, pretty clean cut. Nobody feels worse than that man right there. All the good things we've said about him today, you can forget about all those in a hurry when you make a play like that at a key point in the ball game.
Sims Walker, 6 catches for 81 yards. Well, that was a big mistake.
Yeah, Jack Del Rio just said,
Torrey Holt's enjoying it over there. Jack's comfortable.
Jack just said, yeah, I saw it. Bad challenge. And one more time just to confirm, there's very little doubt here. That ball is out right away.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was dislodged before the runner was down. Therefore, it is first down, Houston. Jacksonville is charged with their second team timeout.
So a huge break for the Texans. And they will have the ball at the Jacksonville 49-yard line.
All right, now Matt Schaub, it's your time to stand up. Show these people and show the NFL world what you're here for, what you're given the opportunity to play with this football team is all about. Kyle Shanahan, let's see what you got in store for this Jacksonville Jaguars team.
Slayton in the backfield. Schaub gets it away in time. Walter, what a day he's had. To the 31-yard line.
Now you're going to see the crisscross blitz coming right up the middle. Matt Schaub standing strong in there, even though one of the two linebackers was coming clean. Delivers a strike to Kevin Walter. Great way to start off this important drive.
Derek Cox, the rookie, made the tackle after a pickup of 18. 96 yards, 7 catches for Kevin Walter in his first action of 2009. Slayton cuts it back. Steve Slayton still on his feet. His biggest run of the year.
Well, Steve Slayton is another compact running back, 5'9", 215 pounds. I love the way he's cutting the ball today. The confidence is totally different than anything we've seen so far. Now, granted, he's played against two pretty darn good defenses this year in the New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans. Two very physical, aggressive, run-stopping football teams. You put the ball on the ground, you face those teams, it's tough to have confidence.
After the pickup of 20, Schaub keeps it, rolling, throws it away. I don't know why he didn't just run with the football. At the feet of Dreesen, the tight end.
Well, I'll tell you why he didn't run with the football, because he knew that Clint Ingram, number 51, was going to close the gap on him a lot quicker than I agree with you. I think he should have tucked the ball and picked up 2 or 3, but I know for a fact that Matt Schaub, as yours truly, does not have a lot of confidence in himself running to the sideline.
Not blessed with blazing speed.
No, not blessed with it, but that was a time where he definitely should have.
So they can get a first down if they get it down to the 1-yard line. Slayton alone back. 3:39 left to play. Schaub, they go right back to it. Daniels, close to a first down.
Well, that is a tough throw and catch. When you get down inside the 20-yard line, the red zone as we call it, those lanes are open. They're much smaller and they're much quicker closing. You see Owen Daniels does a great job coming underneath. That ball is right on time, right on the money, and Owen Daniels knows he's going to get hit. What a great play.
So first and goal for the Texans. Going for what could be the tying touchdown. Schaub. Touchdown. Dreesen. And we have a flag on the play. So let's see if the touchdown will stand.
Pass interference. Offense number 83. 10-yard
They
penalty.
call that on Kevin
First down.
Walter. Wow.
Well, the only thing I can think of is there might have been a pick from Kevin Walter down here in the red zone, close to the end zone. Coaches a lot of times try to run crossing routes that will run defenders into one another. You're going to see Kevin Walters right here. He should be coming down across the field. There he goes. Does he? There's what they're going to call the pick right there. Boy, I think that's a little bit.
And the official goes down. The official was right in that grouping as well.
It definitely had effect on the play, but I think Kevin Walter was perfectly within his rights. Sure, he was trying to get in the way of that defender, but he turned back and looked for the football. He didn't go slamming into him.
Now that's exactly what Kevin is saying on the sideline.
Yeah, he's got a right to establish position in front of somebody else if he wants to. He's a receiver.
Well, that's a huge break for Jacksonville.
Really is.
So it'll be first and goal now from the 11-yard line. 2:48 left to play. Empty backfield. Schaub on the slant. And able to hang on to the football. David Anderson took a shot.
And I'll tell you what, Bill, I'm not siding with Houston here at all, but I really believe that could have been called pass interference very easily as well. That contact came before the ball got there. What a tremendous catch by Anderson.
Ryan Russell just pounded him. Anderson's a little guy. When he first joined the team, he would go out with his teammates and people would say, well, what do you do? No one believed he was a football player. He started telling people he was the mascot. They keep it on the ground. Chris Brown. No signal. Fumble.
And Jacksonville has it.
Goodness gracious, what a turn of events. And Sims Walker is off the hook.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered in the end zone by the defense.
Now we're going to have a challenge.
First down.
Darrell Smith recovered the fumble. We're back and awaiting the ruling on the field.
This is a tough one. There is no clear view of when his left knee hits the ground. That's the first knee to hit, and when the ball comes out. We have a couple of angles that show the right knee.
Houston has challenged the ruling on the field if the ball was fumbled before the run was down or before he crossed the goal line.
You have to challenge it. You have to challenge it, but I just don't know if there's so many bodies around Chris Brown at the time that ball pops out. You cannot see. Right now, we can see pretty clearly when his right knee hits the ground. And it's coming down, it's right there. He's on the ground right there. But you can't see the left knee, and it looked to me, if we can go back and see that right knee again, you can see whether that ball is coming out before the right knee hits. I think it is coming out just before the ball is that. You can see it was popping out before the right knee hits. But I think the left knee hit before the right knee. The problem is there's so many bodies in there, you can't see the left knee.
Remember, it has to be conclusive to overturn the original ruling on the field.
See, we can tell right there the left knee is down, but we don't know when the ball pops out. So it's got to be 100% clear. If that were ruled a touchdown, I don't think there's any way they could have overturned it the other way. Chris Brown is hoping harder than anybody else right now. He knows what this means to this ball club. I'm a little bit skeptical about the possibility of overturning this thing. I would find it hard to believe they could do it.
So just a little housekeeping here. We hit the 2-minute warning. A challenge had not been made, but when we came back from the 2-minute warning, that's when Kubiak threw the red challenge flag. Ron Winter is our referee.
Now, if it had happened inside of 2 minutes, it would have been automatic.
They're looking up at the big video board. Let's take a look at a couple of views we have of it.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was out before the runner was down by contact or before he crossed the goal line. Houston is charged with a second team timeout. Jacksonville, number 52, recovered the ball in the end zone. Therefore, is the touchback. First down, Jacksonville.
Chris Brown, ironically, in the lineup in part because Steve Slayton has fumbled 3 times this year, and he turns it over in a key situation.
And most importantly, aside from the fact that obviously you're driving in for the game-tying score, is that Houston only has 1 timeout left.
(31-24) Jacksonville. Looking for their first win of the season. Jones-Drew popped at the line of scrimmage. Zach Dials made the stop.
Well, believe it or not, the Houston Texans do have one of the best records in the NFL at home. When you talk about the Gary Kubiak era.
And they have a good record on Battle Red Day when they wear their all red pants and jerseys. They're 7-2 overall. They were coming in 4-1 against the Jaguars, who've seen far too much of this Battle Red business. Clock will start with 1:56 left to play. They toss it back to Maurice Jones-Drew. Stopped at the 25-yard line. There's the home field since 2007 for the Texans, 12-5.
That includes the Patriots win today. There are 6 teams tied with 12-5 records, but pretty good company they're keeping up there. It shows they're not doing too well on the road, but at the same time, they've made this Reliant Stadium a tough place to win for a visiting team.
Not everyone on the edge of their seat. 3rd and 5. And they will call timeout with a second remaining on the play clock. Remember, the Texans started out 0-4 a year ago, dealing with all the issues in the aftermath of Hurricane Ike. They still finished the season 8-8 to tie the franchise winning record, and now they came into this game having won 8 of their last 12 and 6 of their last 8. So 1:09 remaining. Chris Brown, who had the fumble, with the Texans trying to go in for the tying score.
And Bill, the Houston Texans still do not have a rushing touchdown this year. That was their best shot at it.
Will they have a final opportunity? 3rd and 5 for Jacksonville. They toss it back to Jones-Drew, trying to get to the perimeter.
Horse collar.
And they're going to call a horse collar. Mario Williams. And that will do it.
Personal foul, illegal horse collar, number 94 defense, a 15-yard penalty. Because the run ended behind the line of scrimmage and the foul ended behind the line of scrimmage, the penalties administered for the dead ball spot. First down.
Well, they said 94, Antonio Smith, but it was Mario Williams.
Yeah, no doubt. You see Mario Williams right there. And what's sad, Mario Williams has no way to know this, but he's got great support coming from Cushing, coming from D'Amico Ryans. They're going to be there to keep Jones-Drew from making the first down, and Jacksonville's going to be punting in that situation, but Mario Williams doesn't know that. He's just trying to make a play, and Gary Kubiak knows right now that pretty much costs. That's the ball game.
So they'll take a knee. Will continue to run. Nothing they can do.
Well, you know, we mentioned in the open how significant that win was last week for the Houston Texans, going down to Tennessee and winning that ball game. Devastating loss today. It just nullifies the meaning of that game last week. But for Jacksonville, what a huge win for them, coming in here 0-2. Jacksonville riding low, Houston riding high. To come out of here with a big W puts their season back on track.
And they got a huge break in the pass interference call against Kevin Walter.
That's exactly right. That was a huge, huge play.
So Jacksonville will win it 31-24. And a look at the standings in the AFC South, and it was a much needed victory for Jacksonville. Unfortunately for the Texans, unable to build on the momentum that they built last week with that big win coming from behind a tough physical game in Tennessee. 31-24 is our final here in Houston.
Well, I think you hit it right on the head. If we look at Torrey Holt right there, Bill, that pass interference penalty is one that's going to be, I'm sure the Houston Texans are going to send that in the league office. There was really nothing that Kevin Walter did wrong other than just take up position in front of the defender. You hate to say that one play determines the game, but that was your chance right there. They did score the touchdown.